So now I'm going to enter a topic that has been very dear to my own heart, which is how we can use the modality of breath work to heal trauma. So working in the field of Tantra, as I have done, obviously I began to realize there's so much trauma in the field of intimacy. There's obviously sexual trauma, but there's also a lot of trauma just from childhood, developmental trauma that affects our intimacy later on in life. And so it's really important as we're on the path of Tantra to integrate really good trauma healing tools. That led myself to go and study with someone just fantastic. His name is Giten Tonkov, and he has been working for 20 years on a system which is one of the most solid systems you'll find out there for trauma healing. It's called the BBTRS, the Biodynamic Breathwork Trauma Release System. And I was lucky enough to study with him live when that still happened in Bali and really experience how deep this work could go. So that's who I'm going to bring along today. So welcome, Giten.
Thank you, Shashi. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so I'm so happy to see you again. Wish we were in Bali, but anyway, it's good to see you here. And yeah, so as I introduced, I was led to you because working in the field of Tantra, so many people have trauma, and I realized I need kind of tools that are more trauma specific. How did you get into this work? What led you there?
Well, I became a massage therapist very early in life. I think I was like 20 or 21. So working with the body really led me deeper and deeper into understanding how people hold tension in their physical body. So I was full-time massage therapist in New York City, and I was doing like maybe 4 sessions a day, 5 sessions a day on daily basis. I was young and strong. I could do many sessions a day. Now, of course, I cannot so many, but just noticing how people hold tension in their body, and that tension is related to past traumatic events, and that tension can still be there since the childhood. And unless it's taken care of through body work, through breath, through movement, this tension will stay there for as long as person doesn't take care of it.
Yeah, so, right. Yeah. So, and of course, it can even worsen with old age, I guess, because then the body doesn't have its vitality. Yeah. So it's really important for us to start clearing it. So then you started to do body work combined with breath work. For anyone who doesn't know, I think everybody's tried it now, but maybe you could just in a nutshell describe what we mean by breath work.
Yeah, so the breath work means that we are consciously breathing in a certain pattern. So we are altering our normal way of breathing. So in the way that we do it in biodynamic breath work, we work with conscious connected breathing. So we either breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Connected means that there is no pause between inhalation and exhalation, or there is a conscious mouth breathing. In this case, of course, there's more air comes in, means more energy, and the body charges quite quickly with energetic charge. So pretty much breath is charge. The deeper we breathe, the more we elevate our energetic charge in the body. And this is the charge that we're working with, because this elevated energy, it wants to move. It wants to move through the pathways that already exist in our physical body. And the tension that's trauma related, that's could be related to developmental trauma, could be related to traumatic stress. It creates physical tension and it blocks that energy movement. So that's why breath work is super beneficial to unlock that tension that lives in the body sometimes for years. So when we breathe, we elevate the energy charge. It starts to move through our physical body. It starts to dissolve that tension that's been held. And of course, the emotional charge starts to come up to the surface. Any tension that's held in the body stores emotions. So we are working with that manifestation of the physical charge is the emotional expression. So it's one of the elements of biodynamic breath work.
So then when people are breathing, like as you said, wherever there's tension, there's an emotion trapped underneath it. So then maybe people don't feel so emotional, but they feel very tense. And then presumably when they start doing breath work, they're actually gonna feel emotion. So maybe you can describe a bit of the actual process of how someone would experience the breath work.
So in biodynamic breathwork, we work with 6 elements. The first one, as I mentioned before, is connected breathing. This is a foundational element. So in the session, we will start slowly breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth to bring the charge up very slowly, gently. And as the session goes by, the body is opened up and we switch the breath to flow in through the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second element we bring in is movement. Breath in its essence is movement. When someone is breathing, there is lungs expanding, contracting, there's diaphragm movement, there's all these supportive tissues, structures when you're breathing. There's movement happening in the body. So what we do, we support the natural movement that's already happening in the body. We expand it, we give it more space. So by doing that, we're beginning to loosen up the tissues. So there's breath, there's movement. The next element is touch. So we use in the virtual environment, we use self-touch.
Mm-hmm.
And touch could be stimulating some deeper body work, let's say working with the jaw, where many people store their tension with the neck, the front, the back of the neck, the chest, the belly. Sometimes we go into the diaphragm. So all of these body work techniques, self body work techniques, they support the tension to become looser, the actual structures. But there's also another dimension to touch, which is resourcing, very soft touch, that loving touch that people can offer to themselves to kind of bring another dimension of connection to their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Tantra is such a body oriented field. I don't even know how to call it. It's not a modality. It's a field. It's so broad. So, but it's all rooted in the body. It's all rooted in the physicality, in a connection to anchoring in our physical body. So through breath, through movement, through touch, these are the 3 elements that kind of are foundational. We create a space for the next element, which is expression. And tension begins to dissolve with breath, with movement, with touch, supporting it. It begins to open up. The next element that's created is expression. Yeah, the tension that's held, emotions needs to start to open up. So we are expressing voice,
Getting it out through
yeah,
expressing it.
yeah. So sound. Sound is the next element. We use our voice, and our voice is the most powerful musical instrument we have. It comes from the inside. The vibration comes from the inside, and the vibration is extremely important. And now I'm speaking, and I have a pair of gongs behind me, so I hear the gongs actually vibrating from the sound of my voice. So the sound, even something that not so loud as my voice, is affecting metal that's behind the gongs. So imagine the effect that we get, that voice that comes from the inside. It dislodges all the cells that stuck together, and it actually opens up our throat. And that's our main expression center. So the next element is emotional expression. So we work with breath, movement, sound, touch, and this creates space for deep core tension to begin to release and manifest itself in emotions. The next final element is meditation. We support people to come into a space of non-judgmental awareness of their body, of their emotions. So it's the end of the session. You bring it all back to yourself so you can become just a witness to what's happening for you, what's happened to your body, what's happening to your emotions, what space has been created within. And in essence, any breath work is Tantra.
Yeah.
because it gives us a possibility to come into deeper connection with ourselves
Mhm.
and be in the moment. The moment we begin to breathe deep in a connected breath, we are in the moment. And
Mhm.
Tantra is really moving from moment to moment. It knows no past, no future. It is meditation.
Mm-hmm. And you know, as I was listening to you, I was just thinking how often we define Tantra as being the meeting of meditation with the movement of energy, Shiva and Shakti. And it's exactly that you're describing, letting the sound, the emotion, the breath being all of that kind of Shakti or energy that's inside of us, but meeting it with that non judgmental awareness. And there's so much healing in that, and bringing those two things together of like the movement with the witnessing. So it's
Mhm.
absolutely Tantra. I mean, it fits the definition just perfectly. And I think it's such a core part actually of Tantra, is when you look at classical tantric practices, they're all based around the breath. So yeah, it's really the meeting of the new, more modern science that we understand around trauma healing with these kind of ancient tools that people have used for a long time.
Like,
Welcome to that.
just jumped on my lap.
Maybe the cat has something to share. Cats are very wise. Oh, wonderful. So at the Live Tantra Trauma Healing Symposium, Tantric Healing Symposium, you're going to be sharing a class, and you're going to be actually leading people through a live experience of their own for this.
Yes, so we will experiment with all these 6 elements that I just mentioned, and it will be a fully guided session. It, it
It cut out. It was the
yeah,
cat. We're back again.
yeah. So we will be working with the 6 elements that I mentioned: breath, movement, touch, sound, emotional expression, and meditation.
Mm.
And it's a guided session. It's fully experiential, and it's definitely a beautiful experience for people to connect in such a way to their body. Very tantric,
Wonderful.
very opening,
Absolutely.
alive.
I can't wait. I've missed doing live sessions, so I'm going to be there, breathing along with you. Thank you so much for offering your incredible space holding to this event, because I think you're absolutely a master in the field, one of the most important people in the world of trauma healing. So thank you for putting this work together and sharing it with the world and sharing it with us.
Thank you.
And look forward to seeing you there.
Me too.